Welcome to another video looking at model answers for the Foundational Catholic Theology paper on the Eduqas GCSE course. As you can see in front of us, we have got a fairly tricky describe question now. So describe what the two creation accounts in Genesis reveal about God and humans. Now there are kind of two ways to take this answer, and I've gone one way, but I'll talk about the second way now. What you can do is be really clear and kind of go to the examiner's right. In Genesis 1 it says this, and in Genesis 2 it says this, and therefore Genesis 1 reveals this about God and humans, and therefore Genesis 2 reveals this about God and about humans. That for some of you might be the most straightforward and the easiest thing to do, because you just go away and you just learn both those stories as kind of parallel events and are able to distinguish between them. What I've done here is perhaps a slightly simpler way of doing it, of just saying, well, this is what both accounts together. So I've kind of amalgamated them together, although from an examiner's point of view they will be able to identify which bits belong to Genesis 1 and which bits belong to Genesis 2, and it's just up to you whether you want to go like how I've done it, or whether you would feel more secure in identifying it very clearly to the examiner. Both would work and both could get you 5 out of 5. So we'll just very quickly go through these points. So they show that God is the creator of the universe and that God is omnipotent, because it says God created the world in 6 days. Now obviously that, if you wanted to, is more linked to Genesis 1. They show that God is eternal. The fact that God creates the heavens and the earth shows that God already existed. So again, that leans more heavily into Genesis 1. They show that God created the world ex nihilo, because in Genesis it says there was nothing before God created. So again, that is more Genesis 1. They show that God is omnibenevolent, because he creates humans in his own image and likeness, which again is more Genesis 1. You've then got the idea that all life is sacred and sanctity of life. That comes both from Genesis 1 and Genesis 2. Humans are the stewards of creation. We have responsibility. That's more Genesis 2, because obviously Adam names the animals. Shows that humans were created male and female and they were given free will. And obviously that is both Genesis 1 and Genesis 2. So for the describe question, like I say, you could go Genesis 1 says this, and Genesis 2 says or you could kind of just combine them as I have done there and cover all of your bases and make sure that you are almost certainly going to get 5 out of 5. I hope you found that video useful, and as ever, please do like and subscribe.